Oh yeah, we are here. We have made it. It's a Friday. Not many people here today. But we got some games going on. Some big games going on, actually. Heroes against the Red Star.
So I need a morale check of 8 because it's a leader. So you're hitting the same guy, right? Yep. All right. Good. Solid. Capitalists are holding on, Justin. So they're holding on.
You are taking some hits.
Lock and load, looking good. Looks like Red Storm. There's going to be a game of Red Storm with the new expansion coming this weekend. Everyone's very excited about that. We got Jeff Phipps here showing off Mons 1914, doing some demos, the playtest copy.
Move into here. Stop.
This is the rifle and spade system you may remember from Gallipoli, 1915. How are the demos going?
Good. So we ran through the introductory training scenario this morning, which is just to learn the rules, and now we're doing the immediate engagement on the eastern flank. First turn, cavalry is just beginning to get in contact. Artillery fire here. The Germans very carefully put their horse artillery on the hill, killed a number of British cavalry on the opposite hill.
Whoops.
The main infantry body arrives next to it.
Nice. I love the map. I love the playtest. You created this, right? The graphics
Yes,
in this?
yes.
It looks really good. A lot more clear terrain than in Gallipoli.
There is. This half of the map is clear, and so the artillery dominates. The other half is dominated by the willows, which are given as polder with trees. And on that end, there's the artillery does not dominate.
Sure.
It's rifles and bayonets.
And are these, what is this? Like, are these the smelting piles or whatever?
Yeah, these are slag heaps. They're
Slag
actually I would call them lava heaps. The result of the coal mines.
Yeah.
So not only is it piles of gravel and leftover coal and it catches fire automatically, and so they're actually on fire, and so you can't stack units on top of it. It's just
That makes navigating the terrain a challenge, I bet.
it is. It's a very interesting piece of terrain. They're also very high. They're much higher than the hills in Belgium.
Oh, okay.
So you pretty quickly learn that if you want to advance during the daytime against artillery, you try to find a slag heap.
Behind it, yeah. And this is on P500 right now, right?
It is on P500.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we're just playing. It doesn't have to be play tested at this point.
Sure. Just more of like a, hey, come check out this thing that's on P500. Yeah. Cool. Game of BIOS Origins happening here. Sort of at the start of life. It's a Phil Eklund design. We just commented about probably more simulation than game. I own it, have not played it. We got some OCS DAC 2, 11-turn game. A lot of the action focused here. Where are we? What's this? Tobruk. Oh, there we go.
Gotta get into there.
Nice. See some Italians, some Germans sweeping around to the south. It's the same group that was playing Smolensk at Game On last February. Here we have this amazing, gorgeous map for this newly released A Most Fearful Sacrifice, 3 Days of Gettysburg, from Flying Pig Games, just came out. You've been playing solo here?
Yeah, I've been telling people how to play it. I have somebody scheduled to play it tomorrow, but we'll see if they show up.
Yeah. It's just so beautiful. I didn't expect it. First of all, I didn't expect it to be how large it actually is. If you look at it here, both maps, but just the art.
By the way, you can weight lift. It's 20 pounds.
20
Easy.
20-pound game.
Maybe it's 50.
That's why shipping is so pricey on it. It's a variant of the blind sword system, which you would have seen me play at GMT. We played Metz 1870, so it's a variation of that system by the same designer, Herman Luttman, called Black Swan. So it's a little bit simpler, would you say, than blind swords?
Yes.
A little more streamlined?
However, very, very chaotic.
Okay. Chaos is good.
Yeah. A lot of chaos. I lost one as the first day. First hour of the first day, I should say.
Well, keep your head down.
So that's why the Confederates are starting to do a little thing. They're doing very good. This is only 5 hours in, I think. 4 or 5 hours in. It's not even doing yet.
The lovely hand-drawn map.
Oh yeah, guy's dead,
Yeah.
Your map.
Yeah, well, he was a very talented individual.
It was.
Amazing. That looks really fun. Hopefully I get some time to check it out. Terraforming Mars, yes, popular.
22.
Still have yet to play Terraforming Mars. We got Ra, a classic.
Yeah.
Very nice. Do you guys just start?
Yep.
Nice. We got the swap meet over here. Last time I was over here was a couple hours ago. Got some strategy and tactics magazines. The old Russian campaign, which is unpunched. Company of Heroes board game. Interesting. Some against the odd stuff. Death Ride Mar Latour. So this would be Franco-Prussian War. That's interesting. I might take a look at this actually. No back on that one. Things there. Monty's D-Day. That's all wrapped. Front Toward Enemy. MMP game. Ted Racer, Grand Illusion, Mirage of Glory. Why have I never heard about this? Interesting. This is a Ted Racer game I've never even heard of. Huh. Fascinating. What year was this published? 2004. Is it a CDG? I'll have to take a look at that more. Some other stuff. Blood Bowl Team Manager. That's a great game. Awesome game. It's kind of like Smash Up, but in the Blood Bowl universe. Everyone loves to play football playing Rat Men. Or the Warhammer universe, I should say. Ashes, nice game. Codex, that's a really fun game. It seeks to be sort of an RTS card game, which is interesting. Greatest Day from Grand Tactical Series. Devil's Cauldron, Grand Tactical Series. Where Eagles Dare, Grand Tactical Series. Some nice pickups there if you want to play some GTS. The original Space Hulk, it looks like. That's what's on the swap meet table right now. Some Panzer sets there. Pretty quiet so far today, but lunchtime. Paths of Glory. How's it going over here with Paths of Glory?
I won the first game with a big asterisk, and we just started over.
Okay, yeah, you learned some lessons. You're gonna try it again.
We left, France left all of this open with no troops. So with 2 cards left in the second round, all of a sudden I was like, oh, so if I just go around here, completely cut off.
And all those units die.
It was over.
Yeah.
And he had 2 core and 1 reduced strength army and 2 cards to try to catch up, and it was just like, yeah, no, that's over.
The pain of the Paths of Glory supply rules. Yeah.
So
I see the Russians making a better advance this time.
no, you don't,
No?
because it's the starting setup.
Okay. Never mind.
But yeah, they are in a stronger position than the last time you saw them, but not because they're advancing.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm
We got a game of Salerno 43 set up here. They haven't started. I think he's looking for an opponent. He's over there. And let's check in on U.S. Civil War. So we've made some pretty good progress today so far. We are just now entering turn 8. And the Union has made some nice advances through Tennessee. Still trying to capture Memphis. We've got Rosecrans, who just took command from Buell down here. Chattanooga is captured. Knoxville is within reach. Do have Breckenridge down here with some two strength. But yeah, it's the Confederates are running wild in Pennsylvania up here. I've just been trying to protect Baltimore and DC. He's had huge armies in the east. It's been very hard to fight back. But otherwise, we made some successful incursions into South Carolina. Hooker took Columbia and Branchville down here. That's helped. We're driving deep into Tennessee, hopefully opening the way to Mississippi. And over in the Trans-Mississippi in Missouri, we managed to clean that up after some disastrous campaigns, but the Confederates put them out of supply. The cavalry is really annoying me. They're just going around undoing the work that I've been trying to do, so we're going to have to fix that this turn. I am on a pressure. I do need to make sure that the number of victory points I have, which right now I'm at 16, subtracting the 6 from the Confederates would be 10. On this turn, that's really close to not being, if I'm 12 behind that number, I will lose the game. So we have some work to do. Hopefully it'll work out. I've been winning a lot of the initiative rolls, which has been helping me quite a bit. It's a pretty awesome, fun time so far. Really loving the game, even if it does end early. I'm glad that to have played it. All right, well, we made it to turn 9, which is the winter of 1863, and it ended with a Confederate auto victory because of this mechanic here, where the Union needs to have would be within 12 points of this number. That has actually kind of soured me on the game quite a bit. I think it's really dumb to have this mechanic, especially when you look at the board and you see the progress that the Union is making. This is not a situation where they would decide not to continue the war. We've captured most of Tennessee. Really, Knoxville is the only holdout. We're slowly moving down this way. There's really no forces. Grant is here, Sherman is here. There's really nothing between them and Jackson. It would be a matter of time to just move down there. And the Trans-Mississippi, Missouri is kind of still contested. That's not really a big deal. Kentucky belongs to the Union. Tennessee basically almost all belongs to the Union. What ended the game, which is dumb, was like this little gamey little cavalry thing up this railroad to take Harrisburg, where there were no units, and I couldn't intercept here with McDowell. And because of that, it gave the point to the Confederates to win the game. But as you can see, there's no army here. 1 SP, 1 SP, 2 SPs. It doesn't make a lot of sense that you would end the game with like 1,000 men or whatever it is sitting in the Shenandoah when there's like a massive army in Washington, D.C. who could march and destroy them. There's progress down here with the Union. They're all the way up almost to Raleigh in North Carolina. So I think this is a really dumb mechanic, this sort of like artificially enforced victory condition. But there's no reason because at the end of the game, the Union has to have 60 victory points, and if they don't, they lose. So why not just let the players enforce whether or not the Union is making enough progress? At least give the Union player enough the opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to try and get to those 60, or if not, I'm going to call the game with a Confederate victory. It just feels really bad for the game to end on like a little cavalry like run up the end around. It just felt really gamey and dumb, and I was having a lot of fun with it, but for a game to end with that kind of anticlimactic like maneuver is really stupid. If I was running the Union Army, I would not say that I've lost the game, that I've lost the war, given all the success that I've been having. So I don't know. That's kind of disappointing to me. It was really good up until that point, and I guess you could say, well, then you shouldn't have let that happen. But like the way the game unfolds, sometimes you have no choice. I was doing well in other places, so it just feels kind of stupid. How would I do it differently next time? I don't know that I would. I feel like I played the Union as well as you possibly can. We had a lot of huge engagements up here, back and forth. I crushed the Confederates in the middle of the country. The Trans-Mississippi, I had taken control the east bank of the Mississippi all the way down to Memphis. I don't know that I could have played it any better than I actually did, given everything. So that's the U.S. Civil War here in the middle of day one. It's already over, and it's going to leave a bad taste in my mouth for a long time. All right. Well, the British, not me. As the leader of the British, I guess it was me. But just did a little training scenario of Mons 1914. All the British casualties. We've got just destroyed brigaments all over the place here. It's a chip pull system, sometimes random, sometimes not, depending on a die roll. But essentially, the British were coming into Mons from this direction, the Germans coming in this direction. These bridges across the canal we were trying to take, as you can see, other than the what is this? What brigade is this? This is the
2nd Brigade.
2nd Brigade. They did a pretty good job holding the bridge, driving the Germans off, but otherwise, all of this German artillery long range just absolutely destroyed the rest of the British forces. The Germans managed to cross the bridge, do some assaults. It was really nasty. He was rolling really well. He got a lot of hits on commanded fire that I just couldn't do anything about, and then I started failing my, when you're confused and you have to take a morale check, I started failing that, and so they just kind of melted away. But it's a really cool system. I can't really comment on how it compares to Gallipoli because I never played that. Obviously, this is going to have the 2.0 rules. Here's the modified chart for fire modifications based on density, artillery, terrain, other conditions. It actually works really well, and it's a D100 system. And some of the folks next to us were playing a huge, much bigger engagement on this side of the map that looked really chaotic. But overall, had a good time playing it, and it's on P500 right now. Just finished a game of Outer Rim over there. We're going to do the nighttime walk around. Some folks playing BCS Aracourt. Looks really nice with the 9/16" counters here. Still a system I have not played. I was talking to Jeff Phipps about it. Seems really interesting. I would like to get my hands on it. Aracourt apparently is the one that you're supposed to play for a new player because it's the smallest. Be really curious to try it at some point. Here's our game of Mons that you just saw. OCS still happening.
It's not watching. Yeah, it doesn't either. It's
It's like there's a line of contact there now.
You owe us, $5,000 worth of taxes.
Love this system. This is which one? This is 18 and 15.
Yeah.
Well, I'm bringing this tomorrow so we can play it.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
We were just learning it.
Oh,
We were
really?
just going to start to learn it.
did a tangent.
Oh, very
Now
cool.
we're just talking about real estate.
Yeah, real estate, and divorces, and
I just got this along with 06 and 07. So,
Yeah, I just got this too, so I was
Nice.
like, oh man, let's try it out.
I like that you can play as 3 players. which is
Yeah.
really cool.
We got to have somebody teach us it because we're.
Oh, I could absolutely do that. If you give me like 2 minutes, I can
Alright,
give
yeah,
you the
please.
basics.
I'm gonna hit the
Yeah.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to the bathroom. Let's learn how to play this game.
Oh, this game looks so beautiful. A most fearful sacrifice. I might have to buy this. Looks like he's gotten a long way into the battle. You can see. Looks like the fight is happening in the city now of or town of Gettysburg. Got more Union units coming up, but yeah, it looks like they're engaged there. Looks awesome. We had a game of Hannibal happening over here earlier after Paths of Glory.
So we rolled a 1.
Long shot.
So I
It's a horse racing game. Looks like.
So in your case, you probably want.
Star Wars Rebellion.
Yep.
Nice. Have we found the rebel base yet?
We have
We have once, but it moved.
We have
Oh.
a suspicion on where the second one.
Luckily, we had heavy transports to be able to move ourselves across the source.
Do I see the Empire with 2 Death Stars right now?
Well, it's almost the second Death Star. I'm missing the bottom half, but it's on its way out. It's on its way out at the end of this turn.
That's no move.
That is no moon.
It's half a moon.
That's a half.
Nice. More outer rim over here. Anything useful get placed. Useful. Anything interesting get placed. Looks like some people bought some stuff. I gotta bring my games tomorrow. It's a Wonderful World. I'm unfamiliar with this game.
It's engine building.
Okay. Looks like you stack up cards and take a bunch of stuff from
Yeah,
like what you're
so
doing.
when you produce them,
Yeah.
then, the cost is here.
Yeah.
This will be your future production. So
I see.
This is at the end right now. And just scoring
Yeah, I was
it
gonna
out.
say it looks like fairly robust, the engines that people have created. Nice. Yeah, kind of small. It looks like Richard III was either being played or going to be played. Tomorrow, I think we're going to do some Library of Napoleonic Battles and possibly Napoleon 1815. So there you go. That's what's going on. I expect more people here tomorrow since it'll be Friday. Or sorry, it'll be Saturday. Oh my God, it's so late right now. It's like almost 2 a.m. But my mistake was sitting down at 10 o'clock for a game of Napoleon 1815 and teaching it. This is the newest from Shakos. This is the Battle of Waterloo. We played it 3 players. We have the Prussians, I was the British, and we had the French player over here. And it was pretty exciting, pretty tense. Came down to the final turn, whether or not the French player, we were at 3 points. The French needed to get to 0 by the end of the turn. Couldn't do it. We had some pretty... Basically, the Prussians spent the whole game getting their asses kicked up this direction. The Prussian player, I don't think, won a single battle. I think the closest was the final one where it was a draw. And the French player committed most of his forces in this direction towards Quatre Bras and towards Namur. And playing the British, I was attacked twice during the entire game, one of which didn't actually have a battle because I had like a retreat card. So we had 1 British combat, but I did pull some sneaky stuff. I did get a cavalry vedette all the way down to Beaumont after the 4th invasion card came out to sort of snatch this point. And I think what really saved us, we had about 3 turns in that game where we continued to get, as the coalition, 1 point for having 7 objectives controlled. And I think that was really the difference in the game.
Also, he saw the big fat stack here, which half of them were vedettes.
Were vedettes, yeah. The Prussian
He
player
was worried about what
playing-
that stack was. Yeah, so we were like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it was weird.
There was a bluff-heavy game happening in the woods over in this direction near Ligny, which was pretty cool.
Then finally, Napoleon just went right past them and said, "Screw you
I'm
guys,
going around
I'm
this
going
woods."
to Quatre Bras."
Yeah, I took Quatre Bras, and Wellington basically sat here the whole game. We had a lot of rain in this game, so there were a lot of turns where everyone was moving like 1 space or no spaces. Wellington, actually to start the game, he came down from Brussels and he tried to move twice and didn't move anywhere, so it was pretty exciting. But this is a great system. The 3-player dynamic is really interesting. The coalition teammates cannot talk to one another unless the special card is played, and there's some interesting, when it's the coalition player's turn, only one of the players can go, and then it comes back to the French, and then it goes back, and so there's like an interesting initiative built into that. But it was a lot of fun. What'd you guys think?
Oh, I thought it's awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I think I didn't know how awesome the French were.
Yeah.
If I had had more confidence in the French
Those dice.
Yeah.
Dice, I would have been a lot more aggressive.
The
but
difference between the
I
French
would have
dice
gotten more fatigue faster
and the coalition dice, I think, are quite. Yeah, you hit on 3 sides. We only hit on 2 sides. You can tell by the casualty pile what actually happened here. Here is just a huge pile of Prussian cavalry and infantry, and here's our measly little casualties we inflicted on the French over the course of the game. Somehow we managed to sneak out the win. So Waterloo historically preserved.